Yeah, thank you, Rich. And before moving on to the Borlaug and Carver session, there were two urgent announcements. One, Kendall just told me there's a car with motor running, New York plate, if it's yours.
Yeah, the plate number is KMC 8579. Car's running in the parking lot.
The other one, Bill Tracy, can you, I know you don't need a microphone usually. Amanda? I think it's not in the program, but 275 seems to be the room number. Oh, okay, so 275, 10:30. And so with that, I'm handing over to Ellen van Dijnse and Gorlin Carr, and they will introduce the Borlaug and Carver scholars.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. So I'm the chair for George Washington Carver Scholars, and my colleague Alan is the chair for Borlaug Scholars. He's going to introduce himself. So I'm going to call the names for Carver Scholars, and I'll ask them to please stand up for recognition when I'll call your name. Before doing that, I want to thank NAPB and USD and NIFA for sponsoring Carver Scholars program. Our first scholar for this year, this is the committee that I didn't introduce. Thank you, our Carver Scholars Committee, our vice chair, the secretary, the members who helped pick the scholars, run the applications, and run the program, making it smooth. We got the name changed this year. So earlier, this program was known as Diversity Program, and from this year, it's known as George Washington Carver Scholars Program. So we have our first batch of Carver Scholars. This is just because of the name change. So we used to have these scholars, but as diversity scholars. I already said that. So our first scholar is Audrey Anna Morris Garrett. Audrey. She's our undergraduate scholar. She finished her undergrad recently and is looking for grad school opportunities. And her mentor is Carolina Ballin Taborda. Our second scholar is Olarewaju Adeyemi. He's a master's student at University of Idaho, and his mentor is Kevin Falk. Our next scholar is Salem Armish. A master's student at North Carolina State University, and mentor is Francisco Gomez. Our next scholar is Flavia Forlen. There she is. A PhD student at Louisiana State University, and the mentor is Karan Sher Sandhu. Next scholar is Amaka Ebiduba. She's a PhD student at Texas A&M. Her mentor is Valerio Juez Villegas. And our last scholar is Chef C.D. Fall. Yeah, right there. He's a PhD student at UC Davis, and his mentor is Claus Scholar. So those are the scholars for this year. We have 6 in total, including undergrads, masters, and PhD students. And we'll keep running the program. And for next year, please go talk to your school. And we try to reach out to have more applications. So we'll open applications usually in March next year. And yeah, so you'll have a travel scholarship and a mentor assigned for an year. So that was my presentation, and with that, I'll hand it over to Alan for Borlaug Scholars. Thank you.
Thank you, Gurleen. I'm Alan Van Dynes. I'm the chair of the Borlaug Scholars Program. And make sure I get this right. The Borlaug Scholars Program started back in, I think, 2018, and it was a vision from Don Cummings. And he asked me early on to help be the secretary of the program, and like all progression, it's a 2-year session for each of us, so this is a 6-year or 8-year commitment, which I'm absolutely delighted to be part of. And I'll show the rest of our committee short. But the vision of the NAPB Borlaug Scholars is really to bring students to NAPB to increase their network. And also similar to the George Washington program, is to give students a mentor, essentially to make sure this happens. And a mentor is there to ask about how to cook things, what is plant breeding, what's your next job, should I do a PhD, all the way up, and any question is open, at least for the year. And I think you get long-term relationships for sure with your mentors, but of course with the program, the whole program. Here's our committee right now. So I'm the chair. Past chair is actually Don Jones. We have Sarah Potts, who is our vice chair, and Chandler Levinson. Well, that's an old name, or not an old name, her knee name. She is also a Borlaug Scholar in 2020, and she joined the program as secretary. And I mentioned Don Cummings, and then we have a number of members at large, including other Borlaug Scholars like Kai Vieira, who is very active. The Borlaug Scholars Program really cannot be run or put together without the mentors as well. We have quite a number of mentors that have been long time, that are returning mentors as well, and some of the mentors are actually even past Borlaug Scholars. So what do we do? Some of the highlights that we've done in the last year, one of the first highlights we did last year was be at the virtual meeting and highlight our 2021 scholars. And they put, we did it through videos. We had videos in the past year. We have videos this year for the 2022 scholars, which will be up on our new website when it comes up with NEPB. And the other thing we've done, we do have a table in the back, which you want to learn, if you want to learn more about the program, want to become a mentor, a student, a sponsor, or just interested in being in the program. So we'll have a booth in the back of the room here. So we basically we gave priority and invitation to participation through several events through NEPB and also with the American Sea Trade Association. So the virtual platform, I know we're a little tired of it, but it's really allowed us to expand the program even internationally and through other programs. So we've had specific programs and invitation for Borlaug Scholars and really NEPB grad students in general through the American Sea Trade Association, the different meetings, as well as the Crop Science Society meetings, and of course the NAPB meetings, and through other programs with Seed Central, which is something that I co-run at UC Davis. We've actually brought students in person, for example, to the American Sea Trade Association VEG meeting in San Diego last year. And so there's opportunities all the way through, and we try to highlight our scholars because we really think they're the best of the best, and we want to make sure that they succeed. So, because we mentioned, and we publicized, their profiles and newsletters, and so on. So please, I'll introduce you to the scholars, not one by one, because we have 23 this year. We sponsored a total now of 85 Borlaug Scholars since 2018. And we were very fortunate through our sponsors that we're able to bring 23 students this year. Our sponsors, are many and they're growing, so we're very excited about that. This is what keeps the program going. I want to highlight, you recognize a lot of the sponsors here. This morning, Inari sponsored our breakfast. We had a breakfast with 70 people, and Inari sponsored that program, so we're all fed, we're all happy, we're ready for the week. And so thank you very much for Inari for getting us started. And what I don't have here, there's also personal sponsors. There's people that make personal donations. Even past Borlaug scholars will make donations to the program just to keep it going. So I invite you to, to continue to sponsor and if you're here up on that list, and to continue back in 2023 as well. I'm not going to list everybody, but I'll do the same thing. If I can ask the people on this is an alphabetical order. If I can ask the Borlaug scholars on this slide to stand up, there should be 10 people standing up right now for the class, because we have 23 to go. So congratulations to everybody. And welcome to NAPB, and their mentors are underneath that. So again, thank you to the mentors as well to continue with the program. So these are all graduate students. The next 10, please stand up. Also all graduate students. Oh, I take it back. Correction, starting from Rebecca, we have a number of undergrad students as well. So Rebecca to your right are also undergrads. So we're very happy this year. We made a big push to get the applications to undergrads, which has been a challenge, but actually one of our major goals is really to recruit students into breeding. So we had a big push by one of our committee members, Anna Heinemann, who really did a targeted effort to faculty members in breeding across the country to try to get graduate students to apply. And so we were able to bring 7 graduate students this year through the applications. And then finally, the final 3 undergrad students, if you can stand. And congratulations. So that's all I had for the slideshow, but we really want to thank the National Association of Plant Breeders for really being, supporting this program all the way through. Thank for Thomas, for making the opportunity for the scholars to come here, and the meeting committee. There was a lot of arrangements that were done in the background to make sure everybody got here, and people, things are paid for, and the rooms are there, and so on. So thank you very much. So we have a little time if there are any questions for Gerline. Oh, and Gerline is a Borlaug scholar. I'm not sure if you noticed, she was already standing. There's a question in the background.
Yes, Alan.
Don.
I would just like to encourage all of the scholars to be sure they renew their memberships every year, because one of the places we lose people is through not renewing.
Okay.
We want you for lifetime members, and that goes for all members.
Okay. So that was Don said, make sure you renew your membership next year. This is not a one-time thing. Unfortunately, we've got you for life. No. But this is really a great career, as you meant, as we were told this morning. The opportunities are fantastic in plant breeding, and so on. Okay, so I think, any other questions? All right, thank you very much.